Hey guys, how's everybody doing? So it's been a while since I did one of these videos where I show you all the Blu-rays or DVDs or yeah, just those of what I picked up in the last month, but I've not done one of these in a while. The last one I did was back in March, I believe. So this is from April to June, so I don't have a lot of copies as you'd think I would, but I have a decent amount that I usually would. But with that being said, the first copy I want to talk about is John Wick Chapter 4. This is a little steel book that you can get at Walmart, Walmart exclusive. God, the lighting though. And then it's got that cool background, and this is like a little slipcover. It's in contender with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning for being my favorite movie of the year. Cross Spider-Verse was great, but I still love that one. But this one was a really good movie. This one surprised me out of every movie. This was the first movie of the year where I went like, yes, this is the best movie of the year. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of other good movies, like Scream 6 and all that, but this was the movie that I walked out going, yes, that is the movie of the year. I adored this movie. This is my favorite John Wick movie. I just love that movie, man. And if you have not checked that out, please do yourself a favor. And I will be rewatching that for the new Continental TV series coming out at Peacock, which I'm interested in. And it's only 3 episodes, which is interesting. Next one is the biggest movie of 2022, and that is Avatar: The Way of Water. Now, I think the first Avatar is fine. I don't understand how that became the highest grossing movie ever, though. That's one thing I hold against it. But this one, I walked in with very low expectations because this one took like a decade to get finally released. And all the delays, all the talks and the work, I was like, why are we doing this now? What's the point? My dog is here to join us. And I walked in with low expectations thinking that this movie was gonna flop basically and not do as good as the first movie, but it did. And this was up there with my biggest surprises of 2022. I thought this movie was really good. I thought to me this was a stand up from the first Avatar. And I'm intrigued for the other ones, but apparently we're not going to get them until like 2026 now with all the strikes and all that and the writing deals and all that. But yeah, one of the biggest surprises of last year. That is a movie where I would recommend that you go out and buy it. But it's never a safe bet to go against James Cameron. He's a great director. It's one of my favorites. Next, we got a movie I've not checked out yet, and that's Infinity Pool. I've heard interesting reviews on this one, where this is directed by David Fincher. Is that what the guy's name is? No, Cronenberg. David Cronenberg. Jesus. This is directed by his son. I have not seen this movie yet. I picked this up intentions to watch it. This came out on Blu-ray in April, and I still have not watched it. I've heard this movie was actually pretty good, but it's not a very rewatchable movie, which is I'm very nervous about, but I'm still gonna probably check it out before the end of the year when I do my end of the year ranking of all the movies I've seen. But yep, that's gonna be one of them. Next is a movie that I checked out actually this year, and that is Joe Dirt. This is a movie I should hate. I don't understand why I love this movie. This is a movie where I should absolutely hate. Happy Madison, it's not a great production. They've made great comedies, mainly The Waterboy, but after like the 2000s, it's like early 2000s, they start to like go way down here. Like Grown Ups, I used to love that movie, but after a while I'm going, this movie's awful. Like, why did I not notice this before? And then when I found out that this was the same producers that made Grown Ups, I was like, oh god. But I did find it interesting that David Spade, God, I almost forgot his name, wrote this movie. And to me, this movie was horrible. But I loved it. I'm baffled how much I love this movie. This is one of the best comedies I've ever seen. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And besides from Tommy Boy, this is David Spade's best movie. I should not love this movie. I should absolutely hate it. But it's so goddamn funny, and yet I bought it. It's one of my favorite comedies now for some goddamn reason. I should hate that movie. Please excuse that lighting. I don't know what to do about that. I'm sorry if that distracts you. Now we got one of the biggest surprises of the year. Renfield. A really good movie. A really fun 90-minute movie with Nicholas Hoult in the role of Renfield. And then you, of course, got Nicolas Cage as Dracula. He was the only reason I went to watch this movie. I didn't watch any trailers for this movie. I didn't see any. Um, I saw tiny TV spots here and there, but I never paid attention. But then when I found out that Nicolas Cage was playing Dracula, and it was this movie called Renfield, and it was a 90-minute horror comedy, I was like, sign me up. Nicolas Cage playing Dracula? Fuck yeah. And then I found out that this was one of his dream roles, and I was like, well, he's got to do good, right? And he was good. This movie was really good. It's so far in my top 10 favorite movies of the year so far. Probably my favorite horror movie of the year so far, too. This was a really good movie. I recommend that you go out and buy it. It's one of the better movies this year, and it's a shame that that movie flopped because I would have loved to see Renfield 2 and 3 and 7. Excuse me. Knock at the Cabin. I was more interested in this one than I was excited. I found out that M. Night Shyamalan was doing another movie. I had not seen his other movie, Old. A lot of people basically said that movie was garbage, so I just didn't bother to check it out. But I bought a few of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, Signs, and the those three superhero movies that he did, Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. I had not watched Glass yet. I still need to. I bought these movies leading up to this one. I was like, oh, he's doing another movie. I might as well watch it. And I thought this story was good. It has a very good premise where where these people say that they saw a sign where the world is basically going to end if they do not sacrifice one of their loved ones. Where it's a two gay couple and their daughter, and they have to choose out of each family member which one has to die to save the entire world. And every time they say no, one of these four has to get sacrificed and all that. And the more time it takes, the more world starts to crumble. Like airplanes drop down like glass, like oceans, like the ocean starts to kill people and all that. This was a very good story. But if the pacing for this movie was okay, this movie was almost great. Dave Batista in this movie is by far his best performance out of any movie he's done, which is saying a lot. I really enjoyed the story for what this had going, but the characters I thought were fine. I'm not saying that because it was a gay couple. Don't call me homophobic or anything like that. This movie was fine. I wouldn't recommend this to many people, but I would say to go ahead and Finland. Leapaway Camp. Oh god, what's going on with the lighting? There we go. This is like Joe Dirt. This is a movie I should hate. This is by all means. This should be a movie that I despise and would not ever watch again. But it works. This is also a very important movie to me. If you did not watch my oh god, what's going on with lighting again? If you did not watch my review on this movie, please go check that out. I'll put a card somewhere up here or at the end of the video. Um, Sleepaway Camp was the first movie that I ever reviewed on my channel, and for my 1 year anniversary, which was June something around that, June 30th maybe? I can't remember. This was the first movie that I reviewed, and I was not proud of it, so I re-reviewed it. I was surprised that I did not own it. I did not know that I did not own it, but I finally bought it, and I love this movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies. Yeah, sure, it's a Friday 13th ripoff, but out of every Friday 13th movie, this is basically better in every way. And the twist, I'm not going to spoil it for you if you have not seen it. Go watch this movie. It's a really good movie. I believe it's still on Peacock. If you have that, please check this movie out. It's really good. Like I said, it should be a movie I hate, but I can't help but love it. Children of the Corn remake. I believe this one was. I believe this is a remake. I have not watched this movie. I have only seen the first Children of the Corn movie, and that was a long time ago. And I remember it being okay. I've not seen any of the sequels, but since this came out on Blu-ray, I plan on reviewing those movies soon, but I can't give you a guarantee. I bought this movie because I wanted to check it out, and the fact that we actually got a remake of this franchise, and everyone was saying that it was horrible. And I didn't even know this movie came out in 2020. It had like a Fantastic Fest premiere or something like that, and it's had a wide release this year and got its Blu-ray release date. I don't know. I plan on watching it, but not anytime soon. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. This movie came out on my birthday, actually, and I watched this one for my birthday, and I had a lot of fun. It's a kids movie. It's another Illumination movie. I was a bit nervous that Illumination was part of this movie because I don't have the best track record. And this was my most anticipated movie for a while. Then all these things coming out, like with Seth Rogen's voice and all these stuff going on, I was like, oh, my excitement basically went downhill. But it was still one of my most anticipated movies this year. I actually really enjoyed this. This was one of the better video game adaptations, probably my top three favorite video game adaptations with movies, anyways. Very good movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and this was the first movie. This was the only movie to make $1 billion this year. Cross your fingers for Mission Possible. I really enjoyed this movie. It's a kids' movie, and if we ever get a sequel, I am down for that. Sorry about that. Evil Dead Rise, in contender for my favorite horror movie this year. This and Scream 6 are basically neck and neck. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. This was one of my most anticipated movies this year. All the trailers, I was like, yeah, real horror Evil Dead again. I was very excited for this movie. It lived up to my expectations. The characters are not very developed, and they're characters I don't care for. But this movie is really good. It's the highest grossing of the franchise so far now, and I want another one. And if we get another one, I'll be there opening night. I watched this movie with my friend that I went with. He's a Evil Dead fanatic like I am, and very excited if we get another one. One which is also a big surprise for me this year, and that's Creed 3. Um, over time, I feel that this one is my favorite of the Creed franchise. I'm not a big fan of Creed 2. A lot of people seem to really love that one. I'm going, okay, it's fine, I guess, but it's never going to be a movie I ever rewatch. Creed 1, I feel is a very overrated movie. I think that movie's okay. I like it. It's a very well made movie, but it's very overrated in my mind. Creed 3 over time I feel has like become my favorite of the franchise. I love the direction Michael B. Jordan takes, but Sylvester Stallone is terribly missed from this franchise. I really wish that they just made a deal with him and just did what they want. Without this franchise, it's nothing. Yeah, sure, it's the highest grossing of the franchise, but without Sylvester Stallone, this franchise to me is like nothing. If you can't get Sylvester Stallone, do what he wants to do. But I thought this movie was really good. Over time, I've really enjoyed it more, but we'll see. If we get Creed 4, I'm looking forward to rewatching this. The only 4K that I bought, and that is 65. They didn't have this on Blu-ray when I bought it, and they only had DVDs, and I said, fuck that, and I did not buy the DVDs, and this was all they had at the time, so I bought it on 4K. I never really buy 4Ks, really, though. This is a movie I've been interested to check out. I don't understand why a lot of people are saying that this is one of the most boring movies, but when you look at the premise about a guy going back in time 65 million years ago to fight dinosaurs, that's a really good premise. I'm very interested to see why people are saying it's so boring and it's not a very good movie. And this is by the guys who made the Quiet Place, the writers of A Quiet Place, and I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies the last few decades. But I don't know. I'm interested. Check it out. I don't have a 4K TV, but I do have a 4K player. So when I get a 4K TV, this will be up there with the first 4Ks I ever bought. Yeah, this is the only 4K that I have. Probably the only 4K you'll really see me buy, really. But I'm interested to check this out. It looks okay. I think it will be really good. And that's all the Blu-rays I picked up through the month of April and June. I didn't do my April one because I only picked up like two Blu-rays during April or something like that. Thank you all of you guys for your patience. I didn't see anybody requesting it, so thank you all so much for being so patient about that. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and as always, and if you like this video, like it, and if you love it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos, and please share this video. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, but until my next video, take care.